Welcome back or welcome into my channel. This is a reading for twin flames or just to see how they're doing, but you could also read for twin souls, soulmate, etc. You don't have to be in union with them. You can also be in separation with them, or you could just have not met them at all in the first place. So that really doesn't matter. All right, so I have pals, 5 pals here. I'll set the crystals down in a second, but sometimes, at least for me, sometimes crystals kind of distract me. But yeah, I'm just gonna put these off to the side for now. All right, so pile number 1 here, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And for crystals, we have rose quartz for number 1. I think this is citrine for number 2. I will look that up again. Number 3 is the lapis lazuli. Number 4 is this amethyst here. And number 5 is a malachite necklace. Alright, so pick whatever one or ones that you want to choose, and I'll start in a few seconds. Okay, pile number 1, for those of you guys who chose the rose quartz there. Alright, so usually when I do readings, these picker card readings, I usually have a spread laid out of what I want to do, but I kind of just laid out 7 cards with the Wildwood Tarot deck, and then I just saw or read what they just gave me. So I'm gonna try to do that here. Alright, so oops, that's reversed. Alright, so for these two, I feel like you guys may not be in union right now. They may want to be they may want to be together with you again, but I feel like their current energy isn't really allowing for that right now. They could be working on things right now, or they're just in a space where they're not really being productive with their. I wouldn't say they're not being productive with their energy, but I feel like if they were to be in union with you, they wouldn't exactly be ready for that because there are some things they may need to deal with. I do feel like they are working hard towards that union, or it's more like I feel like they're working hard towards their issues in order to get to that union. So we have the King of Bows and 4 of Arrows here. So I feel like the people that the person that you're dealing with, they could be a hard worker. They could be very fixated on a goal that they have. But I feel like a lot of them, they may be working a little bit too hard as well, or they're just not taking enough rest, or they have a lot of restless nights. But regardless, I do think they are working hard on their issues or whatever their goal is. All right, and we have 9 of Stones and 5 of Stones, tradition and endurance. So for those these two, I'm reading these two together. I feel like for them, because they're working really hard on what it is that they're doing, they may be coming to like a roadblock as well, or there may be some blockages. I feel like there's going to be a time in the near future, or maybe they're in this energy right now, where they're going to realize that they have to pull back a little bit and kind of reassess the situation. For especially for the endurance card, it's like they're spending so many restless nights trying to figure something out, but this is saying to kind of back down and really think about things. And this Nine of Stones tradition is telling me that they're kind of thinking about new plans or new ideas regarding whatever it is that they're doing. All right, and then I feel like once they figure that out, they're going to be in like this new energy where they're going to see things more clearly, and that's going to really lead them on to the path. And I do think it's going to be the path towards their union, but it's more so their own path that they're dealing with. I just think that's the union is kind of like a byproduct of them succeeding in their own path. Right, we have 2 affirmation cards for you. We have self-care allows me to fully give others without expectations, and am writing a new story. All right, so when I picked these affirmation cards, um, I kind of had the not the intention, but I kind of thought I pulled it out for I kind of pulled these cards out for the current or whoever's reading or whoever is watching this video. But I feel like a lot of these cards, especially also in the other piles as well, they're also for the person that you're reading for. Um, I don't know how they're going to get this message, but whatever works. Right. So for them, self care allows me to fully give to others without expectations. Yeah, I feel like because, especially between these two cards, where they're working hard but maybe a little too hard, I feel like if you are in union with them or if you know them, they might need a reminder to say to like take it easy, take some breaks. You're while it's good to work hard, you can't really give anything back to others if you're draining yourself down. And I'm writing a new story. So yeah, I do think this coincides with these two cards, where they just need to take a step back. They may be brainstorming a few things, and maybe this is a message that they're trying to tell you through some way, where they're just kind of taking a new path right now, and they just need maybe some patience. And yeah, that was pile number one. So if you guys like that, my Instagram is down below for tarot updates and also personal readings as well. And also be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, this is pile number two for those of you guys who chose the citrine there. If I can get all the cards in frame. Okay, so for you guys, I feel like a lot of you guys aren't in a union right now. I feel like from these two cards, so we have 17, the pole star, and 20, the great bear, and reversed. So I feel like this is saying they may have left or there was a separation, and I do think they regret whatever happened here, or maybe it was a decision that they made. But regardless, I do feel like I do feel some regrets from this person. But at the same time, I don't think they're ready to come back just yet because there are some things that they're working on. So this one, this Six of Arrows transition and reversed, I feel like they're just in this energy where they're not really moving anywhere because of this whatever it is that they have to deal with. I do think a lot of it has to do with inner work, maybe shadow work or inner child work, maybe just balancing the chakras or whatever it is, maybe some issues they have to deal with in their lives. I feel like whatever it is, they feel like they have to balance this out first before they can move back to you. And same thing with Queen of Vessels, Salmon. So I'm seeing this Salmon as moving upstream against something. This could be this could be in regards to what they're dealing with in the moment, whatever it is that they're working on. So if you guys don't know that much about salmons, during the spawning or during their mating, I guess, season, they go upstream to a river to spawn, and then they die, which is another thing altogether. But regardless, they do put so much they do put a lot of energy into swimming upstream. And I feel like for this person, this kind of energy isn't, I wouldn't say it's unproductive, but I do feel like it's taking a lot out of them in the moment, which is why they're not really ready to come back just yet. But I also think this is saying that they are working hard. They are working hard for themselves, and they are working hard to get to like this more balanced energy there. All right, and then we have these two. So I feel like these two are kind of a couple different messages, but they kind of both align together depending on who's watching this. So I feel like for these two together, we have Four of Stones, protection, and Six of Stones, exploitation. So I feel like this one is saying either one, they have to be more vulnerable and more open with you and with other people. But I also feel like for others, because there was a separation or they might have left, they may have to face you and deal with that, deal with the quote unquote consequences, as well. Maybe they're working they're working hard against it, or hard against what they're doing, not against it. They're working hard for what they're doing, because there could be like this fear of what's going to come if they do reunite. Maybe for some of you. All right, and then we have I'm willing to let go of old patterns. So yeah, I feel like let's see, with the Salmon card, 14 unbalanced, and maybe Six of Stones transition. I feel like for what they're dealing with, it could be an old karmic cycle, or maybe some habits that they're doing, or habits that they have to let go of when they are having a hard time letting go of that. So I feel like that's the message for them. And yeah, I feel like a lot of this has to do with patience as well. Like, let them heal when they're ready to heal. And yeah, even though it's going to take some time for them, that is the message you're getting, is patience as well. And if you are in union with this person, like I'm just talking in circles, but if you are in union with this person, I do think it's time to like I wouldn't say to hold on to them if you're in union with this person, especially if they're dealing with really bad habits like drugs and things like that. But I do think it's saying to let them heal on their own, or get the support that they need to have, or give them the support that they need. Because even though if they are your twin flame or your soulmate or twin soul or whatever, I do think some holding on to them too tightly could not really be productive for them. So I do think this is also about letting go of them for a little bit. By the way, this is only for some of you, not all of you. Letting go for them for a little bit. But mainly, I do think this card is about them letting go of something that they're dealing with. So that is, remember, it is a collective message. It may all not resonate. All right, so that was pile number 3. If you guys enjoyed that, be sure to check down below for my Instagram for tarot updates. Also, I pick a card, or I also have personal readings down below as well. And like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed that. Okay. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. If you guys chose, what did I pick for this one? Oh, the lapis lazuli. Right, and this is never in frame. Alright, so for this person, I feel like these two. So we have 3, the Green Woman in reverse, and Queen of Stones, Bear. So the Green Woman has to do with fertility and creativity. And the Queen of Stones, whenever I see Queen cards, usually have to do with nurturing. I feel like these two cards together is maybe this person didn't feel like they had a lot to offer, and they may have felt that they were lacking in that department. Maybe they did have a lot to offer, but they just didn't see that from themselves. It could be about maybe low self-esteem, or they may be wondering about where this is going because of that. Or maybe also seeing this bear as someone who's kind of daydreaming, wishing they had more as well, because they're in a place, they may be in a mindset of lack as well. However, I do feel like this is kind of past energy, maybe something that they were dealing with, because we have 5 the ancestor, and Seven of Stones healing. So I feel like whatever issues that they dealt with, maybe it was a lacking mindset, or they didn't have enough, or they thought that they didn't have enough. I feel like they're kind of coming into the power. They're kind of taking charge. They're kind of healing their that kind of low self esteem. And I feel like for those of the, for those that that didn't have a lot to begin with, I do feel like this is them still taking charge and still kind of going to that energy of more abundance and creativity to provide for themselves and others. Right, so I feel like before I move on, I feel like for these two, this could be an energy that they're currently going, that they will eventually get to. Maybe for others, it is that they are in this energy right now. But I do feel like these people, they may be dealing with a karmic cycle or something that's keeping them trapped, or maybe this kind of cycle. I'm just getting this right now, but I think this kind of cycle may have led them to think they didn't have enough. Maybe they were dealing with someone that wasn't really appreciative of them, so they had this continuous mindset that they didn't really have much to offer. But I feel like they will eventually break out of that and be more aligned with themselves and what they can truly offer, and be more aligned with people that appreciate them, like you. Yes, so I do see this as like a karmic cycle that they're dealing with, or they have dealt with, or that they, or maybe just some traps or patterns that they're dealing with in the past, or maybe currently. Right, so we have Knight of Bows, Fox in reverse. So the Fox is the movement card, and I feel like in reversed, for a lot of you, okay, what am I getting from this card? I'm going to re-clarify this card in a second. Because off the bat, I'm getting a lot of you, or this person, they could be still in this cycle here and they're trying to break away from that, but I feel like they're not really moving. But I could see it as someone who is maybe someone who is already in this healing energy, and they're not, they're just not moving from the energy, they're really set on the energy. But I'm going to clarify that in this real quick. So we have 5, 8. Okay, yeah, so we have the Union card, so, okay, that's not going to tell me anything. Yeah, okay, actually it does. So I do think it's about, it is both. Either one, they are still dealing with this cycle of bad habits, or maybe a karmic cycle, and they're not ready to break out of that right now. Or they are in union with you, and they're just not, once they are in that union and they have all their shit together, I do think that they're kind of in this position where they're not flaky or maybe irresponsible, or they're just going to leave off whenever. I feel like they're pretty set on what they're doing if this is that person. All right, and we have I see the light and choose to reside in this loving presence. All right, so what am I getting from this one? This could be about them, especially if they're dealing with, or especially if they have dealt with someone in the past that was part of their karmic cycle. Maybe that person, well, usually it is, but maybe that person was a lesson for them, and they're seeing the silver lining of dealing with that person, regardless of how possibly shitty they were in the past. They could be a lesson that led them to you, or their, or towards this healing like energy where they're in their own light. So yeah, actually that is the main message we're getting from this card. Alright, so that's pile number 3. If you enjoyed that, be sure to go down below for my Instagram for tarot updates, and I have personal readings. And also be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for future videos as well. Okay, we have pile number 4 with the amethyst there. Okay, so off the bat, I'm getting someone who's pretty irresponsible. But the good news is you guys got 4 affirmation cards. Okay. So we have these 2. I feel like this person was either irresponsible or they didn't really have a real direction in their lives. I'm seeing this Knight of Vessels as someone who's kind of just wanders all over the place. They don't really have a place to go, or they don't really have a goal set on anything. But I'm also getting someone who's irresponsible. So either one, they could have been like someone who parties a lot or doesn't really do anything, or they could just been someone who just kind of like goes around life aimlessly. But regardless, I do think they're kind of irresponsible, or they were irresponsible. And we have good news for them. I feel like if they haven't stepped out of that energy of them just being aimless and irresponsible and maybe partying all day, whatever it is that they're doing, I feel like they're going to become more mature. So I'm seeing this Ten of Stones home. There's a few things from this one. Either one, they have this tunnel vision of where they want to go. Maybe they have a goal in mind, and this kind of set dead straight on it, especially with this King of Vessels here. This King of Vessels is about someone who's, it could be a leader or someone who's more responsible, and they're more strict with themselves as well. So it's the reverse of these 2 cards, especially in this reading. It's someone who's aimless, they don't really know where they're going. And this is someone who's more like they're standing their ground and they're more focused on what they're doing. I'm also seeing this one as someone who could be coming home. If you were in union with them, maybe it could be them coming home to you, or it could just be them returning to something as well. Right, so again, from this King of Vessels Heron energy, where they're kind of standing their own ground and they're very strict on themselves, I feel like once they make a decision, they kind of beeline towards it. I don't really see them as an indecisive person once they get to this energy. Maybe they were in the past, or maybe they're dealing with indecisiveness as well. Actually, I'm getting for some of you, they could have been a very decisive person, but they could have just said yes to anything, or they didn't really think about their decisions, and they just went with whatever they felt like in the moment. So that could help them in the energy could still help them. They don't really take that long to decide things, and I feel like once they have their eyes set on something that they want, they are going to kind of like set their mind towards that, especially for those who are kind of beelining or they have a lot of tunnel vision. Oh yeah, so for a vessel's boredom, I'm seeing this as someone who finds what they're doing is very enjoyable and they like what they're doing and they just want to go towards that goal. All right, and then we have Eight of Bows, Hearthfire. I'm seeing this as a celebration card. It could be a union card, maybe with the soul family or with you. Actually, that's pretty much how much I'm getting for that card there. All right, so we have 4 affirmation cards. I allow myself to rest whenever I need to. Rest is widely productive. What was the last group? I feel like this is similar to group 1 or 2. I don't remember at this point, but I think it was 1 where they're someone who was so much tunnel vision in what they're doing that kind of like blocked everything else out because they wanted to get to that goal. This is just saying, reminding them they may need to take a rest at some points. Okay, so I'm unshakable when I'm in true alignment. So I feel like they are very, very focused because or whatever it is that they found that they want to do, whatever they're beelining towards, is what could be in the right path for them. But again, remind them to take a break once in a while. Right? And we have, I trust the wisdom of my body. Healing is my natural state. I feel like, okay, I might read these two together. So we have, I trust the wisdom of my body. Healing is my natural state, and it's loving for me to say no to things that don't resonate. Right. So I feel like these people, especially people in the past, where they're kind of aimless, or they kind of say yes to whatever it is, or they didn't really take much thought. I feel like some of them, they could have just said yes to anything because maybe they thought other people had their best interests, or they didn't really have anything to do anyway, so they just said regardless. But I feel like they're in this energy right now, or they're going to be in that energy. They're going to really think things through and then kind of like not say yes to everything. And then trust the wisdom of my body in the natural states. I feel like this is another patience card, or maybe it's telling them to be patient, especially if there's someone who's very focused on a goal. I also feel like this is about self-care as well. So it's telling them to listen to their body. If they need to rest, then rest. If you're with this person and you see that, maybe tell them to take a rest at some points. And they really need to listen to what their physical body is saying to them. Let's see. All right, so that was pile number 4. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed that, be sure to check down below for personal readings as well as my Instagram for more tarot updates. All right, you have pile number 5 with the malachite here. So I feel like the beginning stages were kind of like the honeymoon stage, where everything was kind of like rainbows and whatever. So I do think you could have went up to them, or they went up to you, and there was kind of this spark that all started. But right now, I do think there is this distance between you two. I don't think it's a physical distance because it's the Journey card in reversed, but I do think it's the emotional distance, where you two could be, or for some of you two could be thinking about breaking up, or there's like you two think there's no attraction left between you two, or maybe you guys are thinking you guys are twin souls or twin flames or soulmates. And I feel like they don't know what to do right now, or there's a lot of questions coming from them. And I feel like the energy that they're dealing with it could be about it's about lacking something, or there's something missing and they're not happy with that. But I'm not really seeing this as a negative reading overall because of these two cards. So we have, I trust that though I may not see it now, there's a greater lesson for me in this. So I feel like whatever it is that you guys are dealing with, maybe you guys could have thought about something, or maybe there are some issues going on in the relationship, especially if you guys are in union or with them currently. I feel like whatever this issue is needs to be brought up to the surface, and it needs to be dealt with instead of it being shoved underneath something where it just kind of gets forgotten, but it doesn't really solve anything. So I'm seeing this as a silver lining card, where whatever it is, the issue that you guys need to deal with could be about could make the relationship move forward, or could help you guys be more open and honest with each other. And we also have, I open my heart to receive more love. I open my heart to receive love more fully. So yeah, I feel like I said before about bringing things up to the surface and dealing with them, I feel like it's saying to, when you guys are dealing with this, you guys have to bring it to the surface. It's saying to kind of collect yourself, like be calm. Don't bring it up when you guys are not in a really good energy together, because it is reminding you to be more open and honest with each other. and be more vulnerable as well. Be able to talk through issues or deal with issues without, either party kind of like ignoring it or ignoring you or just like not dealing with it at all, because that is not productive. So yeah, so even though you guys may be in a kind of in a hard situation right now, I don't think this is overall a bad reading. It's just saying that there are issues that you need to deal with, and these issues is going to make you either feel more open with each other. It could be something that needs to, it could be a breakthrough for something, and it could also be a lesson that you guys need to deal with. And see, I usually don't do this, but I'm going to pick one more affirmation card to see if this says anything else. So we have, I acknowledge my fear and allow it to flow through me. Fear may have a lesson for me, but love is what drives me. So yeah, like I said before, whatever it is that you guys are dealing with, or maybe it's an issue in the relationship, or it could be an issue within yourselves. It could be some of you are kind of like reflecting off each other because of twin flame energy. But yeah, it's saying to don't be afraid to like deal with it, or don't be afraid to face what it is that you guys are dealing with. If you guys are afraid that this is going to lead to a breakup, even if it does, it's still reminding you to, see the silver lining, to see what you need to, that you need to learn from this, and acknowledge that, acknowledge that whatever this is isn't going to be the end of your world. Right, so that's pile number 5. If you guys enjoyed that, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check down below for personal readings and tarot updates through my Instagram.